You've broken at least 3 laws today. The proof? Let's count your crimes together. Ever feel like the world's out to get you? Like one minute you're enjoying a nice glass of rainwater you collected, the next you're getting a citation for excessive cushion ugliness? Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're diving headfirst into the wonderful world of weird laws that you probably break every day. Ah, happy birthday, that timeless classic. That could land you in legal hot water. You know how we always sing it at birthday parties? Well, up until 2016, belting out this ditty without forking over some sweet royalty fees was actually illegal in the US of A. That's right, your heartfelt rendition of this childhood anthem was basically a crime spree in musical form. Think about it, all those school choir concerts, those restaurant sing-alongs, even those off-key serenades from your tone-deaf uncle. Straight up unlawful activities. The good news is, the law's changed now, so you can go back to butchering the song without fear of prosecution. But still, let's take a moment to appreciate the absurdity of it all. A copyright claim on a song everyone and their grandma knows by heart? Talk about a party foul. Okay, if you think example 1 was dumb, buckle up, because example #2 will make you question all of humanity. But first, let's get meta for 2 seconds. Smash that like button, it's free, unlike example 1 which costs $500 in fines. Subscribe, it's like pirating Wi-Fi but 100% legal. Why bother? Because YouTube's algorithm is like that one ex who ghosted you. It only notices you when you beg for attention. Me, I'll become your favorite source of useless laws you'll accidentally break. Deal? Like, I'll reveal why example 2 is 10x crazier right now. Otherwise, I'll be ugly crying into my illegal unicorn pillow. 3, 2, 1, go. Hold on to your hoverboards, folks, because this one's a real kickflip in the face. In a whopping 80% of US cities, skateboarding on public streets is about as welcome as a skunk at a picnic. Why, you ask? Noise pollution, my friend. Apparently the gentle whir of polyurethane wheels on pavement is enough to send the neighborhood into a frenzy. So if you're picturing yourself cruising down the sidewalk like a young Tony Hawk, think again. Unless you want to face the wrath of the law or at least a grumpy neighbor, you better keep your board confined to your own property. And even then, you're not entirely in the clear. Some cities have even stricter rules about what you can and can't do in your own driveway. So the next time you're tempted to bust out some sweet ollies, just remember you might be breaking the law, one grind at a time. Let's hop across the pond, shall we? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into a story that's as sweet as Swiss chocolate and as cheesy as their fondue. To Switzerland, the land of chocolate cheese and draconian gum laws? That's right, my friends. This picturesque country, known for its culinary delights and breathtaking landscapes, has a surprising twist. In the heart of Europe, where the Alps pierce the sky and the cows wear bells, there's a law that stands out like a sore thumb. It's a law so bizarre, so utterly perplexing that it leaves both locals and tourists scratching their heads in confusion. Yes, you heard that right. It's a law that'll make you spit out your chewing gum in disbelief. In Switzerland, selling gum to minors is not just frowned upon, it's a finable offense. And we're not talking about a slap on the wrist here, a hefty €200 fine to be exact. Imagine the shock on a teenager's face when they realize their favorite minty treat could cost them a small fortune. That's right, forget jaywalking or littering. In Switzerland, these minor infractions pale in comparison to the crime of offering a stick of gum to a minor. Offering a stick of Big Red to a teenager is practically a capital offense in this otherwise idyllic nation. It's almost as if gum has been elevated to a status of forbidden fruit. In this land of serene villages and happy people, the gum law stands out as a peculiar anomaly. Now you might be thinking, surely there's a good reason for this, right? Maybe it's about cleanliness or public health. Maybe they're worried about kids sticking gum under desks or something. Nope, the reality is far more intriguing. The reason, as far as anyone can tell, is not about cleanliness or health concerns. It's simply to protect Swiss chocolate makers. Yes, you heard that right. The Swiss government is so protective of their chocolate industry that they fear gum might cut into their chocolate profits. They believe that if kids chew gum, they might buy less chocolate. So they've resorted to legal warfare to ensure that chocolate remains the top treat in Switzerland. It's a fascinating blend of tradition, economics, and a touch of the absurd. Chapter 4. Gather round, gamers, and listen closely, because this one's a real board game changer. You think you know everything about game nights? Think again. We all know things can get a little heated during Monopoly, right? The thrill of buying properties, the agony of paying rent, and the sweet victory of building hotels, the cutthroat negotiations, the ruthless bankruptcies, the occasional table flip when someone lands on Boardwalk. It's all part of the fun, or so we think. But in Beijing, China, taking your Monopoly game too far could land you in actual hot water. Imagine playing a game and suddenly finding yourself in a real-life jail cell. That's right, folks. In the land of dragons and dumplings, disturbing the peace with a board game is a jailable offense. It's not just a slap on the wrist, it's serious business. So the next time you're tempted to unleash your inner Gordon Gekko during a particularly intense game of Risk, just remember, Big Brother is watching, and he's got his eye on you, and he's not afraid to slap some handcuffs on you. Imagine the shock of being handcuffed over a game night dispute. It's a reality you might face, and it's not just limited to board games either. Card games, dice games, any form of competitive fun can be scrutinized. Apparently, any activity deemed too loud or boisterous can attract unwanted attention from the authorities. A simple game night could turn into a night of caution and whispers. So whether you're hosting a raucous poker night or simply enjoying a spirited game of charades, it's best to keep the volume down and the tempers in check. Remember, in some places, game night isn't just fun and games, it's a potential trip to the slammer. Chapter 5. Rainwater. That life-giving elixir that falls from the sky, nourishing our plants and quenching our thirst, and landing you in jail in Colorado? You heard that right, folks. In the Centennial State, harvesting rainwater is about as legal as jaywalking across a 6-lane highway during rush hour. You see, Colorado has some pretty strict water rights laws, and apparently, Mother Nature didn't get the memo. So if you're caught collecting rainwater without a permit, you could be facing some serious consequences. And no, we're not talking about a slap on the wrist and a stern talking to, we're talking fines, court appearances, and maybe even some time behind bars. All because you dared to collect a few raindrops. Now you might be thinking, but why? It's just water. And to that we say, tell it to the judge, buddy. Chapter 6. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this one's a real humdinger. We're heading down south to Texas, where everything's bigger. Except, apparently, your collection of adult toys. That's right, in the Lone Star State, there's a law on the books that limits the number of toys you can own per household. And the magic number is, drumroll please, 6. Yes, you heard that correctly, 6. Apparently someone in the Texas legislature had a lot of time on their hands, no pun intended, and decided that regulating the number of marital aids in a home was a worthwhile use of taxpayer dollars. Now, we're not sure how they plan on enforcing this law. Are they going to start conducting surprise bedroom inspections, issue citations for excessive dildo possession? Chapter 7, Venice, where ugly cushions go to die. Ciao, Bella. Let's take a gondola ride down to Venice, Italy, where the canals are flowing, the romance is blooming, and your balcony cushions could land you in hot water? That's right, folks. In this city of bridges and gondolas, there's a law on the books that prohibits aesthetically offensive balcony cushions. Apparently, the powers that be in Venice have decided that they have the authority to dictate the aesthetic choices of its citizens, right down to the cushions adorning their balconies. So, if you're thinking of sprucing up your Venetian balcony with some bright, bold, or otherwise unconventional cushions, you might want to think again. Unless, of course, you're a fan of hefty fines. Because in Venice, a fashion faux pas can cost you a pretty penny. Gather round, word nerds, and listen closely because this one's a real doozy. Back in the good old days of 1985, when shoulder pads were high and hairspray was higher, a school in Texas decided to ban the seemingly innocuous game of Scrabble. Their reason? Violence. Yes, you read that right. Scrabble, the game of words, strategy, and occasionally intense tile shuffling, was deemed too violent for the delicate sensibilities of Texas schoolchildren. Apparently, the school board took issue with words like smack, wham, and zap, considering them tantamount to inciting a riot. Now, we're not sure what dictionary they were using, but we're pretty sure those words fall more under the category of mildly unpleasant than call the National Guard. Hold on to your fondue forks, folks, because we're heading back to Switzerland for another round of laws that make you go, huh? This picturesque country, known for its stunning landscapes and delectable cuisine, has some of the most peculiar laws you'll ever hear about. This time, we're talking about a law so bizarre, so utterly perplexing that it'll make you want to hug your nearest stranger, which, ironically, might also be illegal. Yes, you heard that right. In a place where social norms are taken very seriously, the concept of loneliness is treated with an unusual level of scrutiny. In Bern, Switzerland, excessive social isolation is considered a public nuisance. This means that if you're too much of a loner, you might just find yourself on the wrong side of the law. That's right, folks. In the land of chocolate, cheese, and apparently mandatory socializing, being a loner is practically a crime. Imagine enjoying a quiet evening with your favorite book and suddenly realizing you might be breaking the law. Now, we're not sure how they define excessive social isolation. Is it a week without stepping outside? Or perhaps it's not having a bustling social calendar? Is it not leaving your apartment for a week? Maybe it's spending too many nights binge-watching your favorite series alone? Not having any friends on Facebook? Or perhaps it's the lack of social media interactions that raises red flags. Whatever the criteria, it seems like introverts in Bern are getting a raw deal. The idea that your preference for solitude could land you in trouble is both fascinating and a bit unsettling. So, if you're planning a trip to Switzerland and you're not exactly the life of the party, you might want to brush up on your small talk skills, maybe even practice a few icebreakers to stay on the safe side, or, just risk becoming a fugitive from justice for the crime of being a little bit lonely. It's a quirky law that adds another layer of charm to this already fascinating country. So next time you're in Switzerland, remember, a little bit of socializing might just keep you out of trouble. Benvenuti a Roma. We're finishing our whirlwind tour of bizarre laws in the heart of Italy, where the pasta is al dente, the wine is flowing, and dressing your pet in a cute outfit could land you in hot water. That's right, folks. In the Eternal City, where ancient history collides with modern fashion, there's a law on the books that prohibits dressing your pets in undignified outfits. Apparently, the fashion police in Rome have decided that their jurisdiction extends beyond human wardrobes and into the realm of canine couture. So if you're thinking of dressing your beloved pooch in a tiny tuxedo, or your feline friend in a sparkly tutu, you might want to think again. Unless, of course, you're a fan of hefty fines and public shaming, because in Rome, a fashion faux pas on your pet's part is a serious offense. So, which law shocked you most? Were you a secret birthday ballot outlaw? A rainwater hoarding rebel? Tag a friend who needs to be arrested for their crimes against common sense, and maybe a few actual laws. And if you think this was wild, wait for 10 things that'd get 80s parents arrested today. Subscribe or risk jail time.